best show for Chicago sports.
Yeah. Hey. What's good? What is good, Chicago? What is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. On today's episode, got to talk about why the Chicago Bears should not even be thinking about playing Justin Fields in this upcoming game versus the Jets. Also, got to look in at the war between Schefter and Rappaport on conflicting reports. But we also should be encouraged by the fact that Justin Fields wants to play. Going to talk about that as well. And then, of course, technically this might be our Football Friday because I don't know if I'm going to do an episode Thursday or Friday. So, might break down the game as well. It is Wednesday, November 23rd. Let's go! Yeah! Shout out to Jimmy Got Soul on this, man. Bro, this beat still slaps. It's crazy. Jimmy, shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate you for showing love to the show by gracing us with this beat. Yeah, what I'm saying, let's get into the show, man. Let's get it cracking. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. As always, man, before we get this cracking, I need y'all to do me a favor, man. Go ahead and hold up. Now go ahead and
push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Listen, Justin Fields, we're getting conflicting reports here, right? We got a war on Rappaport. We got a report on one side that the Chicago Bears are optimistic that Justin Fields will be able to play on Sunday. And Schefter essentially saying, right, that it's still shrouded in darkness and despair that Justin Fields has a dislocated shoulder. Don't know which report is true. Flus is probably going to play this game all week because there are conflicting reports, right? We know how NFL head coaches are. So I don't expect us to get a full-on update from the Chicago Bears today. I'm right. I could be wrong literally in like 20, 30 minutes. I think they usually do the press conference around 11:30 or around 12:30. But I think that, right, like at the end of the day, here's the thing. Justin Fields is going to try and put himself out there to play. He's ingratiated himself to this city. He has shown that he could be our quarterback of the future. He has shown that he has the talent to get out there and make plays, and that gets Chicago excited around him. And at the end of the day, we have somewhat accepted him in as our future. And in his mind, right, as the player, as the competitor, as the guy that's going out there in and out, who essentially now owns the hearts of Chicago Bears fans, he doesn't want to go out there and let us down. He doesn't want to go out there and not compete. He's a competitor. He doesn't want to go out there and not be out there with his teammates. He doesn't want to go out there and let his teammates down. He doesn't want to go out there and let his coaches down, right? Love that. But the Chicago Bears have to protect players from themselves sometimes. Have to. And here's the thing. You're getting ready to go up against a Jets defense that's actually pretty stout up front, coming through a Bears offensive line that is not. And if Justin Fields is not healthy, notice I say is not healthy, then it would be coaching malpractice to put him on the field. Now, here's the thing. There's always a caveat with this, right? I should say this. If he's injured, he shouldn't play. At the same time, at this point in the season, nobody's healthy. If he actually can go, then it's a different story, right? But this is not the beginning of Justin Fields complaining about this shoulder injury. Justin Fields has been complaining about this shoulder since the Washington game. Now, he says that the two aren't connected, not saying that he's not, being truthful there. But, there's an injury in the same shoulder, and now there's a different injury in the same shoulder. There might be something going on with the shoulder that you want to rest it at least one game, get your body right, get your physicality right. You know what I'm saying? And I think here's the thing, right? And not to say that I expect probably the Bears to sit him in this game, even though Ian Rappaport does say that they're optimistic that he can play. Can play and will play are two different things, though. I think he's probably to the point, right, even if it was dislocated maybe, or maybe separated, I guess. I don't know which. I'm not a doctor. Which one medically would be right? I would think that there was a possibility that maybe it was out. Shoulder was popped out. He was having some trouble with it. He's holding on to it. He's got some issues there, and they popped that mug back in. Which would allow him to play. Of course, he'd be sore. He wouldn't have as much, range of motion with it at all. It would cause him some issues throughout the game, 110%. But I think here's the biggest thing. If he's not healthy, don't allow him being not healthy to lead to further injury. What do I mean? How Justin Fields plays. We've watched Justin Fields now for a season, essentially just a season, right? We've watched Justin Fields now for a season. And Justin Fields is an aggressive player. He does not play weak. He is not going to play soft. He is not going to play he's not going to go out there and not give you 110%. He's not going to go out there and not try to get the extra yards. Here's the thing. If you take that away from him, those are things that can lead to injury, whether it is due to the shoulder issue or due to the fact that the coaches are coaching you different because they don't want you to go out there and get hurt, right? Here's at the end of the day, right? When you're worried about the injury, that's usually when the injury gets worse. Right? When you're sitting there trying to protect it and you can't play your game the same way and teams are looking at you and they're saying, okay, well, he's not playing well. We can attack him a little bit more aggressively on this. We can attack him a little bit harder on this. We can attack him a little bit different, right? That's what it ends up being. All of a sudden, now you've got a Justin Fields trying to protect himself because he doesn't want to take shots to the shoulder. He doesn't want to injure the shoulder further. He doesn't, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, now you've got him not playing his game, and that could lead to further injury. So, to me, right, this is a week where the Chicago Bears, you just got to protect the kid. This is a week where the Chicago Bears, you just got to go out there, and you have to say, hey, listen, Justin, we know you can play. And I'm fine with you playing the games with the media and stuff like that throughout the week. Fine, do it. It's a cat and mouse game that every NFL head coach plays, right? We think he could go. We're not sure if he's not going to be able to go. We'll reevaluate on Thursday. We're not sure if he's going to be able to go. We'll reevaluate on Friday. You know what I mean? He probably will be able to go, I think, more than likely, right? Because if it's a dislocated shoulder, there's no way you're just throwing him out there with a dislocated shoulder unless you're going out to the 1950s out here. But I think that this is a situation where if Justin can go, you might want to step in as the head coach and say that he shouldn't go, because at the end of the day, this one game, even at this point, right, this one game just versus the Jets, not to say that, right, the win would do worse for you or anything. I'm one of those people, yeah. At this point, we're going for the draft position. We're 3-8. We know what this season is going to be. You want Justin to win as much as possible and grow into a quarterback that's going to be able to win games. And I would have liked to see that kind of in the second half of the season, seeing him win a little bit more. But at the end of the day, right, you're going to hurt the draft position. It's a game that you can give away, and it is what it is. Your defense probably actually could stop Zach Wilson if he's going to be out there, right? The Jets are going to be playing the same game as well, which is hilarious after Zach Wilson. Do you think that the offense hurt the defense? No. And we got to talk about that too, right? The comparing of two young quarterbacks after a game. The comparing of two young quarterbacks after a game. We'll get into that as well. But here's the thing at the end of the day. This game coming up versus the New York Jets doesn't do anything in the long run of Justin Fields' career. In the week, yeah, it's probably going to suck. He's probably going to be upset that he can't be out there with his teammates. Probably going to be upset if they decide to not let him go. If the coaches say, no, you're not going to go, you're going to sit here. He's probably going to be upset because that's his team. This is his city now. This is, you know what I mean? Like these are his brothers that are going out there and going to war. But you do, in my opinion, Justin Fields more of a disservice, not only just by putting him out there behind an offensive line that essentially can't block for him, not only putting him out there behind probably to pass more than run in anything else, which is the reason that he ended up getting some of the injury as well, just taking shot after shot after shot in pass pro. You're doing him more of a disservice in that way. And then on top of that, right, he's not going to be able to play his full slate of game. He's not going to be able to go out there and give you 100%. And you have to be smart about this. Here's the thing. I'm all for, and I guess kind of jumping around on the topics here, I'm all for the fact that Justin Fields wants to play and that he's willing to tough it out for a game versus the Jets. That he's willing to go into this game and say, listen, I'll bite the bullet. I'll get out there. We're going to fight. We're going to go out here and try to get this dub. And that's what it's going to come down to, right? Like my body holding up against whatever it is. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to give it 110%. Love that. Keep that. Need that. Love it. Save that for when we need you and you take a shot in a playoff game. Save that for those Drew Brees moments where Drew Brees has to go out there and protect the rib. Save that for that, right? I know you're tough. I know you can play through it. I've seen Justin Fields, right? Like one of the few games I've actually seen of Justin Fields is that college game versus Trevor Lawrence. Didn't even realize what I was watching. I'm just sitting down, turning on something for background noise. Broken ribs in that game. Or bruised ribs, whatever it was. He's got the harness on. He's not, and now granted, behind an Ohio State offensive line, right? He's not taking that many shots. We got to build that here. But right, like at the end of the day, I know you're tough. I know you can go out there and fight. I know we have to protect him. And if not for any other reason, right, from the fact that he can't go out there and play the game that he wants to play. He can't go out there and be the guy that he wants to be 110%. Yeah, he's probably more of a threat than Trevor Siemian would be on the field. And actually, right, Trevor Siemian actually probably could pass the ball a little bit better. And it might actually, I don't know. If you go to Siemian in that situation, it's weird, right? Because, like, in my mind, like, I think Siemian could actually pass the ball a little bit better. But the offensive line is so atrocious in pass pro that it might do more damage than good. Just to the image that Justin Fields is actually, the confidence that Justin Fields has built in that offensive line in certain moment. I don't know. That's tough. But no, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Should Justin Fields play in Sunday's game? Do you feel like he should sit in Sunday's game? Now, here's the one thing as well. I'm not going to say he should sit the rest of the season. I think some of those people who are saying that didn't play sports, I guess. I don't know. Like that's one where like you're not shutting him down for the season if he can go the rest of this season, right? Like that's a little bit of a stretch, but I would be in favor of shutting him down at least for this game. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, I need y'all to do me a favor and go ahead and
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. Appreciate y'all for showing love to the channel, man. If you are a Breeze super fan or just enjoy listening to me and Kid debate, talk about different topics and different things like that, make sure you guys check out the new Views from the Bleachers podcast as well. That is live over on Spotify. I believe it should be up on iTunes by now. I got to see if they approved the podcast, but that'll be a weekly podcast dropping every Thursday. So be on the lookout for that, as we'll be recording that tonight as well. Also, if you're a super fan, right, you can see the video over under the super fans community tab. We got that shared there, so just go click on the video and check that out as well. Shout out to the super fans out there who show support, man. We appreciate the love. As we're moving forward here, man, the difference in the two quarterbacks that you're going to see possibly on Sunday, hopefully not Justin Fields, but the difference in the two quarterbacks, the difference in the two systems that they're in, and I'll say this, the difference in mindset tells me that we have a leader that's going to go out on the field week in and week out and be the fixed point for the Chicago Bears team. On Sunday, right, you saw Justin Fields essentially playing through injury, fighting to go out there, tried to calm himself down at the end. Can't get the job done. Throws a pick, goes off the hands of Demo, which I don't know if it's Monty or Mooney. He wasn't very clear on it. You know what I mean? Very slick move there, Justin. But goes off of the hands of Demo. Interception going the other way. It's been reported now that Justin Fields, after that game, goes into the locker room, talks with his teammates, puts the game on him, says, injured or not, I got to be able to go out there and make plays. We as an offense have to be able to go out there and make plays, and we weren't. That went a long way for his teammates in the locker room. That went a long way for his image in the locker room. That went a long way for him as a leader in the locker room. Again, just making the right decisions. Just understanding the moment. Albert Breer dropped this. Says he apologized to his teammates after Chicago's loss to the Falcons in the locker room. Post-game, told them the defense gave the offense a chance, and the offense didn't get it done. Went a long way with the guys after he'd played hurt. That's a leader. Right? You know Justin's hurt. You know he's fighting through it. You know he's trying to give you everything he's got, and he's going out there and he's just doing what he can. He's making plays. Now, on the flip side of this, Zach Wilson went out there and he completed 9 passes. His defense gave up 3 points, and the offense scored 3 points. And I believe gave up the game-winning interception, if I'm not mistaken. When asked in a post-game presser, who he believed, or did he believe that the offense had let down the defense? Not even a hesitation, not even a second. No. Didn't even think about it. That did not go over well, to the point where now Zach Wilson might not be the starter. The mom, never mind. I was going to be a wild joke. I was about to go too far on that one. I was about to go way too far on that one. And this is what I'll say about the entire, both situations, and just kind of looking at what we really have here. There are moments where I could nitpick on Justin. There are moments where I could nitpick on this new Bears coaching staff, this new Bears regime. There are moments where I could go at Getsy. After Sunday's game, there's definitely moments where I can go at Getsy. But here's the thing at the end of the day. Are we building guys that are just good football players, or are we building leaders in this NFL? Are we building leaders for this Chicago Bears team moving forward? Are we building a team that is going to go out there week in and week out and have somebody that they can look to? That's going to go out there and be able to make plays. That's going to go out there and be able to steady the ship. And to me, that's what Justin Fields is slowly becoming. That's where you're seeing him move into more of that next level, transcendent kind of player that gets Bears fans excited. That player that we haven't had at the quarterback position. Our leaders have always been defensive. We've never had a leader at the quarterback position like this. We've never had somebody who, when you looked at him, not to say that they wouldn't take the blame. I think that we've had guys that would take the blame, right? We've always had that. Jay Cutler would say, hey, this game's on me. Mitch Trubisky would say, hey, this game's on me. And those guys, I'm sure, Jay, I know for a fact, played hurt, right? That's where, right, not to say that, but, I think that when you speak about Chicago Bears leadership right now, Justin Fields' understanding of, hey, I got to know when to step up. I got to know when to speak up. I got to know when it's on me, or when I have to say that it's on me. I have to know when to say that we didn't get the job done. I have to, right? This isn't on the defense, right? And especially, and here's the part that gets me the most excited about hearing him say this: a defense that's been struggling. That goes a long way. The defense didn't play well in that game, right? Played better. But it wasn't like we were like, oh, man, the defense really slowing them down here. Definitely played better. What'd they end up giving up? Just 17 in that one, right? It's not a bad game. But it was more so a game where we can still see, right, versus a better team, we probably end up getting murked. But Justin Fields stepping up, hey, that's on us. The defense gave us a shot. The defense played well today. We did not put up what we needed to put up. We didn't go out there and play the game we needed to play. That's on us. That's what I like to hear. That's the part where when I see this Bears team as it's being built, when I see this Bears team, and even kind of what Flus is instilling, what Getsy is instilling, what hopefully Alan Williams is instilling, right? Your coaching staff, the leadership that is going out to the players is now being exuded through the players onto the field. That's what you want to see. And I don't think that we've seen enough of that from the quarterback position or even from the coaching position, right? The quarterback's an extension of whatever the coach is calling. The quarterback's an extension of the head coach in that room, right? If somebody's getting out of line, or I should say the leaders, right? If somebody's getting out of line and the coach doesn't want to be the one to go in there and address it, right? He's saying this should be a player issue. You should have players that are able to go in there and address it. Guess what? You got a guy that's able to go in there and address it. Justin Fields is going to address it. Now, do you need more of those guys? Yeah. Maybe Lucas Patrick can be that guy when he's back healthy. You need more of those guys for sure. But it's encouraging to see that Justin Fields is somewhat that guy for you. It's encouraging to see that Justin Fields can come out and be that leader that the Bears need. Because, right, like I'm looking at this as a situation now where, okay, now we're just seeing this versus the Atlanta Falcons. That don't matter. But when it matters, right, do we have the right leader in the room? When it matters most, do we have the right leaders in the room? And when I hear Justin Fields, when I hear him talk about, kind of what he's, when I hear him talk about what's going on the field, what he's seeing on the field, the plays that need to be made, he just sounds like a leader to me. And that's a stark contrast from what we're seeing over in the Jets. And I feel bad now because it's like, man, like, the Jets aren't even a team that I, like, dislike or anything. The Jets are just, like, they've always been bad or they've always lost in the weirdest way, so you kind of feel bad for them in a way. But then at the same time, it's like, it's the New York Jets. I don't really care. Like, but for some reason, I look over there, I'm just like, my God, bro. Like, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson now. And I actually think Zach Wilson has some talent. But now there's a coach in there that just is like, bro, like, I don't care what you're doing. We got this defense together. We're starting to roll. We're winning games in spite of you. I don't care. Stop talking. We'll replace you. We'll replace you. I don't know how they're going to replace him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes there because he's disgruntled and they trade away way too much to go get him. I don't know. I don't know how he goes there, but hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it moving, man. Got a little bit more to get into. Keeping it short today because, again, recording before work. Got to head into the gig. But do want to talk about this topic because I feel like this is an interesting one. We've seen multiple reports on this, but I don't know if anything serious has dropped, but we have seen, a couple of different reports on something that could jumpstart this season. Or I'm sorry, jumpstart the Bears in free agency next year. Essentially, Dan Graziano came out and reported that Saquon Barkley would be interested in being a Chicago Bear and that the Bears should view him as a potential free agent signing. Now, of course, right, you guys know my stance on running backs. I don't pay them. I'm not going out there to go find a transcendent running back. I'm not like you find them in the draft and then after they're drafted, right, you go get another one. Now, I did say this, right, a day after I did have to come out and say that we might have to pay Darnell Mooney, mostly just because there is there's nobody else in the backfield to block, I guess. But here's the thing for me at the end of the day, and question to you guys. Do you think the Chicago Bears should sign Saquon Barkley this offseason? I know it's a little bit early to talk about free agent signings, but somebody brought it up, so we might as well talk about it. Should the Bears be looking to sign Saquon Barkley this offseason? And here's the thing. Barkley's amazing, right? Saquon Barkley is arguably the best running back in the NFL right now. Depending on what you want to look at, right? Like Henry's still a monster. Zeke to me is, like I mean, Saquon is essentially the best running back in the NFL, running wise, receiving wise, right? And maybe you can make a case just in that, right? That with the Bears having so much money, being able to go out there, and you're talking about going to get a potential weapon for Justin Fields, Saquon Barkley could be that, because Saquon Barkley is not only a threat in the running game, right? He could also be a threat for you in the passing game. He could be somebody that Justin Fields could go to on a consistent basis. He could be somebody that Justin Fields could drop back and find if there's nobody else out there, or somebody that you could actually put out in space and be able to make catches out on the outside, right? Saquon's just an amazing athlete. But at the end of the day, the Chicago Bears, to me, are not in a position to go get Saquon Barkley with how many holes this team has. I want the Bears to be good offensively as well. I want them to have more weapons. I want them to go out and get a big name receiver. I want them to improve the running game a little bit better, maybe with some more run blocking, right? I want them to be able to put up the 30 points that we've seen the last 5 weeks, or at least 24 plus that we've seen the last 5 weeks. But at the end of the day, there are so many holes that you have to fill on this team on both sides, that because of what Saquon Barkley plays, that is a luxury, right? Saquon Barkley is buying the new TV for the house. What's the important things that you need? Got to have the lights on, got to have the gas, got to have the mortgage paid, got to have the water paid, right? Like those are the essential things that you need for your house. Saquon Barkley's the 85-inch TV that you put inside the crib to accentuate the fact that you got a nice crib. You don't put the 85-inch TV on the wall if ain't no electricity in the house, if the lights ain't on. Priorities. And right now, for the Chicago Bears, who are the best running team in the NFL, I know that recently it's been led by Justin Fields, but it's been led most of this season by your running backs. It's been led most of this season by your running backs. Saquon Barkley is a luxury that you add to this team. Because you know what? With that 130, first off, I need fat dudes in front of Justin Fields. I need big guys up front. Bring me the beef. Because I'm tired of talking about my quarterback getting hit. I'm tired of talking about my quarterback having shoulder issues. I'm tired of talking about my quarterback running for his life. Like now we've actually, like, here's the thing. Now we've got a quarterback, and I think this is the difference, right? And maybe if you want to have the Mitch Justin comparison, this is what it would come down to at the end of the day. Mitch couldn't thrive in situations that we're seeing Justin Fields thrive in. Biggest difference to me. Even when people said, you know, oh, well, Nagy had him chained to the pocket. He couldn't leave the pocket. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. Okay. What happened in Pittsburgh? Same poor offensive line play. It's got a slate of receivers. Got better receivers than Justin Fields had. Yeah, I got better receivers than Justin Fields had. Right? Like, that would be my debate. But you have to go out here and protect your young asset. And Ryan Poles knows that, right? I think that he'll actually do that this offseason. I think that will be the main focus of this team this offseason, getting Justin Fields more protection, getting Justin Fields a couple of weapons, right? But I don't know if those – I think you've got your big name weapon right now. You'll probably go out and draft another wide receiver or maybe go high draft for an offensive lineman. I really don't want a young dude protecting Justin. I just don't. Me personally, right? I want somebody that knows what the heck they're doing, because I think if you got people that know what the heck they're doing going into next week or next year, you can start winning. You can start coming out of some of these games with some wins. If you got people that know what the heck they're doing going into next year, you can start coming out of some of these games dominating. Right now, you don't have that. So for me, hey, go get Orlando Brown Jr. Go get, right? Or maybe you throw a rookie in between them. You got Braxton Jones. Maybe move Braxton, right? Like, I don't know how many pieces realistically the Bears are talking about getting. Maybe Braxton Jones kicks inside the left guard, or he goes over to right tackle, and then Tevin keeps playing right guard. Hopefully he'd be healthy, right? And then Lucas Patrick can play, right? Like, that's the iffy, maybe you throw a rookie in there at left guard or something like that, right? Like, but I don't want to see a ton of rookies on this line. I'm not spending my first 4 draft picks on offensive linemen. And in all honesty, right, you might see the Bears, as much as people are going to hate it, go with a defensive player, because right now you're sitting at the 3rd pick in the draft and you just got to go get the best player available. 3rd pick in the draft, you go get the best player available. You don't just pick, we need an offensive lineman. If there's an offensive lineman that's going to be there later in the draft and he's slotted as like the 11th best player in the draft, then you trade back. You don't take that guy with 3. But you got your guy. Yeah, you don't reach. You maximize your value. You maximize your value. We've got so many holes on this team that going to get Saquon Barkley would be a sin right now. And I mean, I don't even know, right? Like, he's probably commanding a pretty penny. I don't know how much he'll command in free agency as a whole, right? Like, he's going to be a high paid player. He's that level of player. He's a really good player. But at the end of the day, the Giants probably end up just franchise tagging him, giving him one more year with the bag. And I think this is more of a Madden trade than anything, or a Madden signing than anything, that you love it, right? After you've already built up everything else. But at the end of the day, you have to, it's not just about fixing the offense of the Chicago Bears. It's about fixing the Chicago Bears. If I looked at our defense and I said, yeah, we got monsters on the defensive line here, and we got offensive linemen that are going to stand in front of Justin, and continue to make plays, right? Even if it was just one guy that was struggling, right? Maybe a left guard struggling a little bit, but everybody else is set, right? Like, I could live with them going out there and saying, okay, we got Claypool, we got Mooney, we got Komet. Oh, we hadn't Saquon of that. Oh, that's crazy. Let's go do that. We're dominating now. They can't stop us. That's the 85-inch TV on the wall. You don't go get the 85-inch TV on the wall if the lights ain't on. It's the garnish on top of the salad. You don't just throw garnish on a plate. You got an empty plate with garnish. One potato over there. It's Justin Fields. That's not fair. Justin Fields is steak. Justin Fields is steak right now. But I'll tell you what, even with, right, me looking at the Bears offensively and saying that you probably need a little bit more in your backfield than just Herbert and Ebner behind Mooney, or maybe, right, if Mooney ends up walking, you definitely need more in that backfield because you don't have anybody that's going to be good in pass blocking. I'm still, right, like I'm going to look in the draft for a guy. I'm going to look in, what do we got in the 5th round? What do we got in the 6th round, right? Like, there's somebody out there Who's the next guy? Who's this year's Damian Pierce, right? Who's that guy? That's what you go out there and get if you're the Chicago Bears. That's what you go out there and look for if you're the Chicago Bears. You don't pay Saquon Barkley in a year where you're trying to get your entire team together. Now listen, if at the end of the day, right, we find a way to spend a bunch of money on this offensive line, we draft some dominant pieces on the defensive line that we know are going to hit. You know, we've got Kyler Gordon, we've got Jaquan Brisker, and now all of a sudden those guys are accentuated by the dominance that's going to be on this defensive line. Year one of this kid coming out to play out of college. Sure, if there's money left over, go sign Saquon Barkley. But this one feels like an if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. That's what this one feels like. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of The Daily Show, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We'll be live tonight for the Chicago Bulls versus Milwaukee Bucks game, so make sure that you're tuned in with us on that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also going to have a new showcasing on the show. Hey, we got Marcus Couch taking over for us from the Chicago Bulls podcast for the post-game show. He's going to be joined by P. Kidd. They are going to be together on the post-game show breaking down what we saw in the game. I've also got Locked On Bulls and Locked On NBA tonight, so it's a long work day for me. I'm going to get ready to head into the gig. Appreciate y'all for showing love. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Hey, yo, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. It's all love, man. Peace.